in any business on the planet on these couple of points here being my outcome. What's the first one in everyone? Outcomes, right? So that's the first thing we're going to talk about here tonight. And in terms of doing that, most times people call an outcome in business, what do they call it? Everyone call it out. Key performance indicators, or the acronym, everyone? KPI, right? So that's kind of what you want. That's the outcome. Now, I always use the same analogy, and I've got a new asset that we're going to be sharing with you here in a little bit. But if you think about the example of weight, health, weight, whether you want to take 10 kilos off or put 10 kilos on, depending on who you are, that's an outcome. Yes or no, everyone? Yeah, it's an outcome. Now, quick question, be it 10 kilos of weight loss or weight gain, who's had some form of weight goal in your life? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Keep your hand up if you did not achieve the goal that you set out to do. Come on. Everyone put a hand up right now. Okay, we've probably all done it at one stage or another on either side of the fence there. So just by putting a goal down, write this down, because I put a goal down doesn't mean I'm got to get there. Okay? Just because I write I want to lose 10 kilos of weight or I want to make $1 million or $10 does not mean that I'm going to get there. And I want you to write this down, please, in your notes, is most people get very excited about the outcome. What do most people get excited about, everyone? The outcome. They speak about that. You know, I'll go to a networking. I mean, I don't really do that anymore, but, you know, or I'll go to an event or I'll go to a barbecue or whatever that looks like, and people normally talk outcomes. They'll even say things like, you know, hey, I did $1 million of revenue last year or whatever. So that's the outcome. It's normally the one that's spoken about, and it's the one that people normally put the most amount of focus on. But you and I both know, back to the weight goal, right, is just because I want to put 10 kilos of weight loss or gain doesn't mean I'm going to get there. Because we've got to do what? We actually got to do the action that causes that. That is the outcome. So we've got to go and focus here also. It's not to say I don't like goals. And this in business, doing the actual action that creates the outcome is called the what, everyone? Call it out. Critical drivers. Critical drivers. Now, when we look at your business or we look at people in your business, what the most successful companies on the planet, they measure both of these. Okay, yes, there's going to be some outcomes of what we're doing, but we're also going to measure what's going to get me to those outcomes. Who thinks that's not a bad idea? Okay, it's a stunning idea to be frank. Now, if you think about this one right here doesn't get a lot of love, right? Like, so think about weight loss. Who's ever seen, I'll just stay with the weight thing, who's ever seen like a weight loss advertisement, right? Raise your hand if you've ever seen like a Jenny Craig, whatever, all right? Do they ever show you the photo of the dude doing their 50th push-up, yes or no? Do they show you the photo of the ice cream tub full getting put into the bin, yes or no? No, because it's unsexy. Write that down. Critical drivers is the unsexy part of business. Everyone, yes, you'll see a weight loss goal with a six-pack and someone that's beautifully toned, but they don't normally show you the driver of how to get there. Who'd agree? Say yeah. Okay, good. So, we've been teaching this for over 15 years, right? And if you think about this, we will then normally ask our clientele to give us a big picture document, which is our version of a job description. Raise your hand in the room if you either know of that document or you've done it across your organisation. Raise your hand. Okay, good. So what, 90% of the room easily. The challenge is when people show us those documents, normally they're very fluffy, okay? They're normally very fluffy. They've got maybe certain strategies, but they don't have any drivers or not many KPIs. So we've now developed a document. Deepak, we're going to get that out to everyone, please. Because I was doing a teaching at an Entrepreneurs University program about 2 months ago. We did a whole section on this. And at the end of it, we still had some people that were confused on what to write or what's the number. And write this down, is that critical drivers and KPIs must have some form of metric. What must they have, everyone? A metric. You just can't say, right, I'll just use health. You just can't say push-ups. That could be 1 push-up or it could be 1,000 push-ups. And it normally needs to have a time frame. Please write that one down. Right? If I want to lose 10 kilos of weight, well, what is it? Is it 1,000 push-ups in a year, 10 years, 1 day? What is it? So we need to have a metric and we need to have a time frame. Please underline that, grab a different coloured pen, etc. So at the last time I taught this, I had still people sitting there going cross-eyed at what to write because it's quite deep. So what I decided to do is I said to the coaching team, you know what? If they don't get it, is that your problem or my problem? Your problem or my problem, team? Just look at me, guys. I know everyone's doing that and now you're checking it out. But if you don't get it as the student, is it the student's problem or the teacher? Teacher, thank you. That's what I needed. So I decided with the team to sit down and put critical drivers and KPIs, and we've also done it by department in your business. Who thinks that's pretty cool? Say yeah. This is a new document. It's getting launched today, and it's going to be our yardstick on this for the rest of our days. And we have put it on some funky-ass laminated thing that the printers do, so that you go and put it where, everyone? On the wall. I want to see this. Here's my challenge. Next week, the week after, whenever you get back to your business, I'm asking you, write this in your notes, that you post some selfie photos with your critical driver and KPI sheet on the wall in situ, helping you do a better job. Who's going to do that? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Bit of fun. Post the thing. It inspires other people to take some action. Now, this is version 1, and I must admit, in the end of it, this document I ended up doing. I sat there for like hours looking at all the different categories and thinking of different metrics that I've coached on over the years. Now, some of them are generic, and you're going to have to, the languaging of it might be different in your industry, your style of business, right? But you're going to make it more specific to you. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay, good. So, here's what I want to do. We're going to do, through to lunchtime, we're going to do an audit of your critical drivers and your KPIs. What are we going to do, everyone? An audit. Because I know this, write this down, everyone. What gets measured gets managed. What's the first bit? And what gets managed gets results. What's the last bit? What gets managed gets results. Now, let me use another health example. Next year, or no, sorry, is it this year? When's the Tokyo Olympics on? This year. Do you think right now all those athletes who are going to go to Tokyo, do you think each one of them in their own pursuit, there is like a massive amount of measurement happening on all those humans in both of these? Yes or no? Yeah, like massive. Like you don't get to peak performance unless you are a stud at you're a stud at measuring things. Okay, so I won't do it, but I probably should do it, is bring up a whole bunch of clients that we coach that are absolutely killing it, and most of them will have amazing dashboards, amazing measurements across their business. Raise your hand if you have done a huge job since we've been coaching you to develop more scoreboards so you can see what's going on. Raise your hand, nice and high. Okay, good, so 70% of the room. So what we're going to do there is we're going to review this just from the top down, all right? And we're going to start where Cara left us off. So the first category there is what, everyone? What's the first department? Marketing. So what I'm going to get you to do, please, just by yourself, is to look at the drivers and look at the corresponding KPIs. What are you currently measuring, right? So in your notes, this is what you are measuring. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 2 minutes just to rewrite and just, get familiar with again of what I'm currently measuring right now, okay? 2 minutes just by yourself. Let's go. Both KPI and critical drivers. Write them down, please. Let's go. Okay, everyone got 1, 2, 3 written down of what you are measuring there? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, good. Now I want you to do what I'm not measuring, right? What am I not measuring but I potentially should be? Let me just do critical drivers. Raise your hand in the room if you are not measuring number 1 there, which Cara also talked about, the acquisition costs to buy a lead. Raise your hand. Come on, I know there is a lot, right? That could be one. For my web-based people, number 14. What's number 14, everyone? Website speed. How quickly and good does my website? That's highly important in that part. Am I number 7 on the KPI side? Do I actually know the volume of my database? Right? What's my percentage market share? Number 3. It could be a subdial of that one. Write this one down. The percentage of my customer concentration risk. Write that one down. We were just speaking in a coaching session this week with the group. Just give me your eyes, everyone, please. Around one of the big risks for a lot of businesses is some businesses in this room end up with certain customers that make up too much of my revenue. Raise your hand if you've got some lumpy customers that make up a lot of your revenue. Okay, good. Can that be risky if it gets too plump? Yes or no? Yeah, because if they go away, then you don't have them, right? So, talking about this through the week, starting with a client a few years ago, they had one client made up about 60% of their revenue. So on the KPI side, to reduce that risk every time they come into the boardroom with me, we're looking at, write this down, the percentage of that customer related to all of their other customers, which is all around number 3 there, and market share as a percent. Does that make sense, everyone? Yes or no? I'm also going to say you want to de-risk a company and sell it for more money. Don't rely on 1 or 2 customers. You've got to limit that. So you're going to go around, spend about 60, 90 seconds a person, and I don't want you to write on this too because you're going to take it home. But in your notes, you're going to write I want both, not just KPIs, not just critical drivers, both, please, that you would consider using and measuring more. So you're going to go around 60 seconds per person. Start with the person with the best haircut on your table. Okay, I'd like at least one, maybe two maximum at each microphone on what you're not measuring from the chart that you're now going to start measuring. Let's go. If you haven't been up, let's hear it from you. Let's go. Couple more on this side, you guys. Let's go. Yes, sir. Who are you? Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Luke from Templeton Dance Studio here on the Sunshine Coast. And the thing that I wrote down for there was we are not measuring our return versus new customer and leads as a percentage.
Yep, which I think, so that just to state that, that's number 7 there, that ratio on critical drivers returning versus new, yeah?
Correct, yes.
Yep, love that one. Give him a hand on that. Any more, buddy?
Oh, I just thought that as a KPI would actually tell us clearly the number of the new leads we actually require inside of our marketing. It would actually tell us a lot clearer what that is versus returning versus new.
Okay, awesome, thanks. Give him a hand, well done. Good job. Yes, ma'am, who are you? Where are you from?
Thanks, Bruiser. I'm Christy from the Sales Squad. Thankfully, given the nature of our business, we do a lot of those things, but there was a few things that showed up there that I know we haven't given enough consideration to. Things like blogging on our website. It's just something we've got, I think we could leverage. I mean, Wado has created so much content and so many amazing things that we should be putting out there more regularly and updating. And we never track how many network functions we go to. I know it sounds probably a little random, but yeah, it's something that we've never even considered doing. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Give her a hand. Well done, Christy. Yes, sir. Who are you? Where are you from?
Morning all. Alex Dudek, Master Cabinets in WA, part of the Crazy Board 8. Last year we did a 360 review of the whole team and we got so much out of it. It was incredible and haven't done that since, so we haven't done any measuring on management team and what their achievements and I suppose their growth as people. So yeah, big one for us to get back on that one.
Awesome, thanks buddy. Give him a hand, well done. Yes ma'am, who are you, where are you from?
Alison from Deluxe Party Hire in Harvey Bay.
Yep.
I was interested in that website speed one, which we don't measure because we do measure how long people are on our website and that fluctuates a bit. So I'm actually interested to know how you measure it.
Well, I mean, this is kind of Kara's domain, but there's websites, Kara, wherever you are, you're going to tell us one of them before we finish, but you can actually put your domain name in and press go and it'll spit out how far, it'll analyse your website and then give you a score out of 100 of how speedy it is, which means, write this down everyone, I mean, again, it's not my specialty, but I've done a fair bit of work on it, is meta links and all the links not working, right? Here's another one, too big of photos, right? So the photo size is too big, so someone clicks in, who's ever done that, where you've clicked into something and you're sitting there, it's like watching paint dry, right? Does Google like that, yes or no? No, they hate it, right? So that's why they'll jam you down, or the robots will put you down on that one, right? So again, there's ways to do that. And, you know, speaking with like an expert in websites in America a few years ago, they actually said to me that website speed, this was 2 years ago, is the new words, basically, you know, the keywords. It's better than keywords, right? So anyway, that's them.
Okay, great.
Give her a hand. Well done. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Sally Doran from Infectious Clothing. We're an e-com business, so we play in this space a lot with marketing, but one of the things I find interesting that we don't have a KPI or a critical driver out is video content. We know it works for us, but we are not setting a target to do that. It's one of those things that's out in the ether, we like to do it, but we really need to go, we need X amount of content because we know it works and then we can measure the engagement through our channels.
I really like that, Sally. So the percentage of video content. So, I mean, you know, like 10, 15 years ago when I was doing this, you probably didn't need a lot of that, or at least wasn't that common, right? But now, do people, when they're looking at you, either engage more with video content? And for most businesses,
absolutely. Like
100%.
Instagram loves it, Facebook loves it, Google loves it.
Exactly. Righto, so great measurement. Give her a hand. Well done. Thank you. Yes, sir. Who are you?
Craig from Sabtool on the Sunshine Coast. So the one that we've let slip lately is the actual cost of the lead and the lifetime value of the customer.
Yeah, so that is a huge one, the lifetime value of a customer. Who's currently measuring that? Raise your hand if you're currently measuring lifetime value. All right, I'm going to say if it's relevant and you can track it in your business, you should be doing that. Lifetime value, especially the people in here that have got a lot of repeat business, right? A huge one. I love that, Craig. Well done. Give him a hand, everyone. Thank you. Righto. So, team, we're now going down to sales. Where are we going, everyone? Sales. Right, so this one, we're going to change it up a little bit. You are going to do this and you are going to be finding a partner. And on the count of 3, you're going to grab all of you'll need that. You'll need your note paper and a pen or however you're taking notes here today. And we are going to be doing a stand-up one. We're going to be using all 4 parts of the room. It's illegal to sit down. What's it illegal to do? Sit down. Righto. Choose an A, choose a B in your partner, please. B's go first. Now, hang on. Righto. So your job, B's, is to go through sales KPIs. We're on to the next category or department in your business. What do you measure? Right? So you're going to be saying, yep, I'm hoping that you measure sales and look at your P&L. Right? But there'll be other ones in there that you're not as much. Okay? So I want a list of the ones that you're not working on and measuring, but you should be. This is going to be 2 minutes, B's. How long? Do not change. What did I just say? I will change you. B's, 2 minutes, starting now. Give them a high five and say, you rock. Take your seats. Take your seats. Okay. We're going to go down to the operations of the business. There is a lot in operations. Who would agree? Say yeah. So we're still going to keep that same format up around what are you measuring, KPI and critical drivers in the ops side of your business. Just look at me real quick. This could be very much what your team is doing, right? It could be also the output of the production line, whatever that looks like, right? I'm in the ops part of the business, right? So what am I currently measuring and what am I currently not? Just a bit of you time, 90 seconds, just a bit of you time. We'll go on to what you're not in a minute. Let's just do what you are right now. 2 minutes, let's go. Everyone got at least 1 or 2, both in critical drivers and KPIs written down? Raise your hand. Okay, good. So I'd now like to hear around your table what you're not measuring on the ops side of the business. It could be a health and safety. Could be a customer engagement, whether you're getting, customer complaints. What are you doing there? It could be quality. Here's a big one for all my service-based businesses. Write this one down. Utilization. What did I just say? Utilization. From my workforce, what's their production? And if you don't have a workforce, that could be you. Right? I promise you'll never end up with team members if you're not even tracking your own performance. So, through the ops, you're going to spend at least 90 seconds a person. How long, everyone? Righto, round you go. Start with the person who is enjoying this subject the most. Let's go. Come on back, team. Okay, I'd like to see 2 people per microphone on this one. Let's go. If I haven't heard from you, Ryan Olive, thank you. Tom Jordan, thank you. Dr. Bick, let's hear from you. Haven't heard from you yet. Kieran Varma, let's go. Doesn't matter who it is. Well, it does matter the people I just said. Need a few people in the middle. Thank you, Brent. The hubby's going up, so it's good. Righto. Who are you? Where are you from?
Thanks, Bruce. Ryan Olive from Central Queensland Livestock Depot. And you've really highlighted that I'm not measuring enough. There's just about everything on that page I'm not actually measuring yet, but the conversation we just had, the things I do measure, the big one is cost of gain, and that's how much it costs me to produce a kilo of meat or to put a kilo of meat on an animal. That's the nuts and bolts of our entire business, and subsequent to that, there's about 5 or 6 metrics that flow into that.
Okay, love that. Thank you for your honesty. And which ones are those 5? And are they in the ops or are they more in the sales, either marketing side of what you do?
Some are in the sales, so what our sell price is. Some are purchase price, like sales price, purchase price, and feed efficiency. So how well the cattle convert grain or how much they've eaten to produce 1 kilo of that meat.
There's lots there in the ops. What did you write down on the marketing side there, Ryan, about what you're not measuring, but you should be?
On marketing, yeah, I didn't actually write anything down, but one thing I did put down, I have written down, is I actually need to measure how much like the value of each customer is, and then I can go back, you know, when someone comes in with a big answer or big questions, whether I can entertain what they're asking for or not as to how much value they do actually bring to the company.
Yep, love that on that customer lifetime. So, I mean, just to explain Ryan's business, he does a couple of things there. He's got a feedlot and a holding set of yards that can fit about 6,000 cattle in it. And he does 2 things, one being feedlotting cattle to make them put on weight. And he also is like a quarantine yard when live cattle get exported, right? So kind of 2 different markets there. On the front one, on the marketing side, did you have on the critical driver the number of calls to potential people that need a boat?
That was actually something, I didn't write it down, I did speak about it. So I don't actually do marketing, and then James pointed out what you do, it's just something you're not aware of. Everything that we do is personal, like it's personal conversation.
Which I'm calling is marketing. Okay, so I'm going to suggest that there should be some critical driver there around the amount of times the people pick up a telephone, be it you or other people in the organisation, to attract new people or check in on old customers to bring them back, etc., etc. Okay?
Yep.
All right, good. Give him a hand. Well done, Ryan. Thank you. Brent, who are you, man? Where are you from?
I'm Brent Goshnick, and I'm the director of a 3rd-generation cabinet making company on the Sunshine Coast called G&M Craftsman Cabinets. The biggest thing that we brought up was the team review survey. Because we're a 3rd-generation company, we've got older fellas and younger fellas. We've got guys who've been there 3 fellas who've been there for 30 years apiece, and they're very much stuck in their old ways there's no team review, no team meetings, and we've just started recently doing team meetings where the younger guys are much more vocal and the other ones aren't. The team meetings are one thing to get the general, but discussing around the table is having something a lot more dense, like asking a lot more larger questions about the quality of work they're going to, the tools that they're using, the vans that they're driving, and just the general team culture. I think that's pretty important to come up with a document that gets surveyed a bit more regularly to find out individually and as a whole how the team are performing and if they're happy.
Yep, love that.
Yep.
Thank you. And just to remind everyone, I mean, it's in most of your tool bags for all the clients in the room, there's a few biggies in there. Write these down. Is the team review, right? There's 2 documents there. There's the spreadsheet and there's the Word document where you ask them questions. Both need to be together. There's a video on that. You got to go and do that, right? It gives the qualitative side as well as the quantitative side, so that any of those reviews, formal reviews, end up with a metric at the bottom. Okay, very, very important. I would also say here's another one which you touched on, is there is a team satisfaction and culture survey. What's it called, everyone? Team satisfaction and culture, right? Third one, which is in that document that I just passed out, is the 360 leadership, everyone. Write that one down. In EBS, all of the senior people in the organisation, including myself, we do an annual 360 on the leadership where the team members score us on how we're doing, right? And gives feedback, etc., so that we can improve on that, right?
Yep.
So there's a few biggies. And as you just said, it doesn't have to, they're all the big formal ones. They can be just, hey, we're going to meet more often and do a toolbox talk, etc., etc.
Yep.
Love it. Well done, Brent. Give him a hand, everyone. Good job. Dr. Beck, where are you from? Who are you, man?
So you got my name. Hi, Bruiser, and hi, EUP team. My name is Dr. Beck. I'm a dentist at Sparkling White Dental in Gundawindi. So if somebody's looking for a dentist. Anyways, so we are struggling with the team. So my 3 picks would be that the team satisfaction survey is to be completed, which we haven't done at all. Second is the team performance frequency, which we do not generally do. And the third of the critical drivers was the planned team meetings. So we do have team meetings, but they're mostly very, very random. So that would be something which we would be measuring and implementing on. And on the key performance indicators, I've picked up again the 3. So the first one would be the employee satisfaction rate, because we had been losing the team members on not a very regular basis, but I would say once a year or something like that. So I really want to look into that what was the reason why that was happening in the first place. And we haven't done a customer satisfaction score, even though we are performing pretty good, but as we all would need more numbers, so I think we should be doing some sort of a surveys or some research on that. And the third one from...
Please write that. Hang on, Dr. Bick. That's a really important one as you're surveying your clientele. Write that down. Is what is your feedback system for your clientele? And have you got a metric on it as well? In EBS, I promise you tomorrow afternoon about 4 o'clock, you're going to be giving us a score for how well we did this 2 days, right? You got to do the same, I agree. Well done. Any more?
The last one, what I would say, would be the team retention rate. We haven't measured that at all, but it would be poor, I guess. I mean, given the fact the way I always keep on complaining, my team is not with me. So these are the things, among the other things, which I would be sure to look into it in the future as well.
Well done, Dr. Bick. Give him a hand. Good job. Thank you. Yes, sir. Who are you? Where are you from?
G'day, mate, and everyone. I'm Bruce, the systems mentor, and I also own another business, which is an online business selling luxury outdoor beanbags. What I find, and particularly looking at the KPIs and drivers in here, is that with the 2 businesses, it's so easy for the online business as a vortex time-sucking machine. It draws me across over into there, and so this has sort of really alerted the fact I need to be spending a bit more time across actually looking at that metric there of time planned versus timed actual. Yep. And you know, that's a great, almost, you can use it in either one, whether it as a KPI or a driver to say, today I want to spend X hours doing that. So that's really, really good to get that focus there. And it's also, because I love this area, mate, as well, obviously, you know, with systems perspective, but it's really important to look at the metrics that drive results versus the metrics that are easy to get.
Yep, I'd agree on that.
And that's one of the things with an online business, having a dashboard there that just gives you so much information.
Yep.
But to find the drivers in there that really deliver a result versus, well, I can chart that, but doesn't deliver much.
Yep. Awesome,
anyway,
mate. Thank you. Give him a hand, everyone. Well done, Bruce. Yes, sir. Who are you? Where are you from? What's your business?
Tom Jordan, Jordan Ag Services. We're at Rockhampton. Probably the big things in operations for us is team. A lot of the team, like the 360 leadership survey, flipping. We've been able to start on the team meetings. Start at 1 a quarter. want to try and bring that back to one a month. We did like the annual review, team annual review. What was that, back in April, I think. Had a bit of a spare day, so Rattle sort of didn't give them overnight, just gave them a bit of time that morning before we took them in and individually and did the reviews.
Okay.
But yeah, that is the big one for us. We're not measuring a lot of stuff with team. We started measuring, or Megan started measuring, like the cost of jobs, what the hours that have gone into that job for what it's costing us in wages.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, that was probably the main one. There was a couple on the KPI side with we could probably do a bit more with like the client retention or surveys. I started doing a few, but got too busy and they sort of went by the wayside a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, that seems to be a big one. Just finding out in the past we have had some small niggling problems that you hear secondhand. So yeah, that's doing some surveys has helped get that stuff out in the open. Just small stuff that they mightn't have been happy with.
Righto, good. So everything you just said that you want to go and do more measurement on, are you saying that you're also going to put that in your next pack when I next have the coaching session with you? Is that what you're saying?
Looks like it.
All right, give him a hand, everyone. Well done, Tom. Good job. Lucky last, Kieran, what do you got, man? Who are you? Where are you from, firstly?
Kieran from Medwell Clinic in Caloundra. And for us, we don't do a lot of them, and the ones that we do, they've been inconsistent. And for us, I guess, when I ask why, it's the first symptom that comes up is no time. And when we looked a little bit deeper, it's because the tasks that I do and the tasks that, say, basically everyone, but maybe the 2IC does, there's a skill mismatch. They're low-value tasks. So getting processes, I guess, more processes that we can automate, systematize, possibly outsource. It's not on here, but that's what we'd like to do.
So which one are you going to go and measure? Critical driver and KPI on ops.
So number of processes documented and implemented, and the implementation rate.
Right. I'm going to offer you another insight on your medical practice, if I could.
Yep.
I'd also like to see some work on lifetime value, right? Particularly on your medicinal cannabis side of the house, because there's a lot of repeat business on that. Okay. Is there a sign-up board for that? He's got a sign-up sheet up the front here later on. All right. And I'd say more on the team side here, measurement of team reviews, etc. Okay, good. Give him a hand. Well done, Kieran. Good job. Righto, team. We are going to finish this. I said I'm going to... I know there's a lot of depth on this. Who's enjoying this sheet, by the way? Say yeah? Yeah. Okay, good. So, finance, guys. Now, this could be as simple if you've got a bookkeeper or an internal bookkeeper or a CFO, etc., where it could be just sending this back and saying, I want to do a portion of them, right? Some people are actually going to have to choose which ones you're going to do, all right? But there's a lot in there that are going to be good. So, in terms of what you're currently measuring and also what you should be measuring, okay? So, spend just yourself about 90 seconds, please, on what's getting measured thus far and also what you need to do more on. 2 minutes, let's go. Okay, so I'm going to let you unpack that downstream on the finance side of the house. All right, if you've got those people around you, it could be, hey, I need to see more optics on these. And I just might want to say that most of the financial cockpit, which we put you guys through, most of those are in there, right? Not all of that, but like 80% of those dot points are actually in the scoreboard and the financial cockpit. Last category there is what, everyone? Who needs to get more wealthy in the room? Raise your hand if your wealth's important to you. Okay, good. So what I'm going to get you to do now is you're going to speak whilst you write on this around what's relevant for you of what you're not doing, right? So round you go, what aren't you doing but you should be in either critical drivers and KPIs? I'm going to suggest that you spend more time on the critical drivers section. Start with the person who'd like to get the most wealthiest on your table. Okay, so let me just give, I'm just going to give you my probably top picks in this area, everyone. So grab a pen, everyone. So let me just cover off the tax planning part of it, right? What's the first category, everyone? Tax planning. Who's ever done this where you didn't manage this area of your business and you paid a dumb tax because you paid too much tax? Raise your hand. Come on, I know you're out there. Right? That's probably because on the critical driver is you abdicated a function. You abdicated, what's the A word, everyone? Abdicated the function to your accountant, right? So rather than sitting there and being more pre-planned. So what's the number of hours that you need to allocate per annum, per quarter, per 6 months, whatever that is, okay? Please write that down. That's a critical driver, right? Here's a second one. Education hours. I know in my own life, the more education I do in a certain area will normally lead to more fresh ideas, fresh ways to think about it and go off to do it. Raise your hand if you would agree with me, you'll like me. So again, if you want to be wealthy, how many hours are you actually investing into education? Imagine if you just said to yourself, I'm going to give myself a certain target every month and hook or by crook, I got to do it. Would you at least be more knowledge so that you can take more action? The answer is, everyone? Yeah, you would, right? There's a big category. I'll give you another category as well down there. Here's a critical driver, it's number 3 there. How much money are you putting into the profit account per month, per quarter, per year? Now, for the team members in the room, that's normally your super or Kiwi saver for my Kiwi friends, right? How much are you siphoning off to do that? So whether you're a team member and doing that, and or whether you've got a dedicated profit account, because the profit account, write this down as a reminder, that's the wealth account. What is it, everyone? That's what gets you wealthy, right? So normally, the law of vacuum, if you leave the money in either your personal account or in the business, in the general business accounts, and they're not siloed, what will tend to happen with that money, everyone? Just evaporates. Who's ever done that? You know, you had a wad of money in there and then woof, it just went. Raise your hand if that is. You've done that? Right, that's the law of vacuum. It's the what, everyone? Law of vacuum at work, right? We know it's alive and well, so you got to kind of corral that money, and that's profit account taking it away. Everyone good with that? Okay, good. So the amount of money that you're doing on that per time frame is a big one. Okay, good. All right, that's the critical driver and KPI sheet. Who likes it? Say yeah.